Before I started this business, I worked in a corporate. I make almost 15 times more each month than I did for a whole month. For a whole month back there, which is crazy. I like to think that my business is like an erotic partner that I picked for myself, that I chose for myself, and I choose every day.
Hello, changemakers. Welcome back to my channel. It's Julia Chan. Today, I have a very special guest, Sabina, who is joining us from Poland. She is a love and intimacy coach. She does amazing work with women who want to tap into their femininity and sexual energy to create the best life that they truly deserve. And today, Sabina has come here to share her business success, the business side of doing this kind of life-giving coaching. What does it look like day to day? What are the challenges? And some of the biggest successes that she had. So if you are in this industry, you definitely want to tune in and listen to what Sabina has to say, because when I first met her, she was in the beginning of her coaching business journey, and now she is hiring a team and expanding her business to help more people. So let's go straight into the goods and share with us what has been the biggest success that you have created in this journey of building your business, and also having been my client since almost the beginning of the journey. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. You were the first business coach that I hired, and that was the best decision I've ever made. I was so afraid back then. I was just starting. I think that my biggest success when I look back then is that I actually noticed that I really need help. My journey kind of stopped at the point where I was like, I have no time spare. I want to help all these people, but I have such a big waiting list that how can I do that? And this is where I needed really help. I needed to start really leveling up everything and to really delegate some of the stuff.
I want the audience to know that it's like, oh, love and intimacy coach, like, maybe some people think like this is like a side hustle or something, or like that's cute, like she does it on the side. No, this is her full-time gig, and more than full-time, this is her business. She was completely booked out. So she started working with me. She went away, implemented a whole bunch of things. She got completely booked out during the process. And then we started working again because we need to level up. So let's talk about that.
Yeah, success. I have a lady who's doing sales right now. I have a person who manages my IT and my videos, and I do have someone who takes care of my finances, which is great. And I'm really thinking about developing that even more during this year to have this even bigger impact, because my greatest goal is to really impact 10,000 people a year. And how can I do that? That's the big thing. I'm not thinking about why to do that. I'm thinking about how to do that. It's a great thing. I thought that I could reach that level. It's very exciting. It's very scary, but more exciting.
Yeah. So your journey has gone from doing all the delivery yourself. Yeah. You were booked out completely. You were exhausted from being booked out. A lot of business owners want to have this problem. But then when you have that problem, now you have to structure so that you don't have that problem anymore. And then you actually create capacity to have more people in. For people who were maybe having a hard time picturing what this looked like, the first hire Sabina had to do, which I told her from the very beginning, was to have somebody who can help her with the finances. So an accountant, right? That's always your first hire as a business owner. People usually hire way too late, an accountant. Yeah. The next level was, okay, what else can I delegate? And a lot of times we can't really have a format or a template that one business owner with this kind of business is going to need this type of hire, right? So in your case, it was somebody who can take off the content, because that takes a lot of time, video editing and posting, right? That was something very important. And then sales, once you have that, and then you have now from one-to-one, now you have group coaching, you have really increased the capacity by I don't know how many times. I mean, it's a huge capacity now because you have more time, you have team helping you and supporting you. You still get a lot of calls, right? Yes. So yeah, your social media is doing really well. Like your YouTube organic is doing really well. Your TikTok is going really well. You were running ads before. I'm not sure. Ads now.
I am running ads.
Multiple ads and multiple salespeople is where we're projecting, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
going forward?
And, yeah, I'm really looking into funneling workshops that are for groups of 20 up to 30 people, and few of them during the week, which makes me help more people, but me being very energized without losing my energy on one-on-one coaching, which was my primal and basic style. Right now, I'm really focusing on developing group coachings.
Yeah.
And it's working really great. My initial group was a great hit. It was a great idea. I'm very satisfied about that. Works really well. I have lovely ladies in the group. And this is why I want to launch more groups in the future and really focus on that.
Let's talk about the specific challenges in your business.
I thought in the beginning I could help people with insomnias or panic attacks or whatever. And it was you who said, is this really what you want to do? And I was like, immediately I said no. And I added, I wanted to do something about intimacy and femininity. And you said, like, yeah, that's what you should do. And I was so afraid of that.
I remember now.
Yeah,
and the biggest I kind of forgot that stage, because now I know you as this love and intimacy coach. Like, you really own this niche, and the work that you do, you've helped so many people already. So I forgot the initial conversation that we did go through, that, like finding your niche and stuff. And because I always saw you as that coach. Sorry.
That was very interesting. Like, I needed to see it for myself. That was very challenging because I was pushing it away. And I thought to myself, this is what I'm afraid of that. People will talk, I will be trolled, hated, or whatever. I was afraid of that. But then I thought, if I'm so afraid of that, if I'm that scared, why am I scared? Well, maybe because in Poland, where I come from, this is a very Catholic country.
Yeah.
Sex is still such a taboo. Femininity, it means that when you're very feminine, you can really be sure that you will be hated at some point. Women will hate you. They will be triggered by how feminine you are. Guys will definitely see you as someone who's, looking for an adventure, a sort of adventure.
Sex object.
And I thought to myself, of course, and I'm just thinking, I'm so scared of that. But that means that this is needed here.
Yes.
It's so needed here. So I decided, that was I was so vulnerable when I tapped into that. And it was the best decision I made. Women who I help, they're so grateful that they can actually tap into their femininity and feel safe about that.
Yeah.
It's like no woman, no man will ever tell me how should I feel in my body. I am my body confident. I feel good about that. And this body is good. It's a gift. It's my vehicle for experiences. I mean, what's better than that?
Yeah.
We have to own what we have. And that's what I teach. And I'm very happy that I did make that decision and I didn't do something connected with insomnia or whatever.
Yeah, because you embody this niche and offer in your body, in your soul, in your spirit, the vulnerability, not being sure about the niche, even though you wanted it, feeling the pushback, the resistance, because if you speak up about these things, you knew that there would be a lot of haters, a lot of trolls. You embodying this as a business is not the same as a regular person embodying this in their personal life. When we have a business, we have to really expand and put ourselves out there in a big way to show people what we're offering and how we can create the value and the transformation that we can help them with in their lives, right? So then when you have a lot of eyes on you, that is one of the challenges.
And hire people. This was a big struggle, such a big struggle for me.
Yes.
Such a big struggle for me to really create new procedures in my business, which was also a struggle. For me as a woman, when I'm like very intuitive, very fluent, and I like to do stuff very intuitively, and like I get into that, I really tap into that deeply and I do it. And I needed to create a structure actually, which takes time. And it was really interesting for me to see that inner dance between my power, my creation, and that structure setting. I needed to really step out of my familiar box and delegate stuff. I needed also to create structures, like really the scripts, how things work, what to do, what programs to use, how to communicate, who talks with who and how. When are the group meetings? How can we do things better? This was really time consuming because by that time, I didn't realize how much of that stuff I have in my head, and I know how to do that. But if I show other people how to do this, it really needs to be really well described.
Yes.
And this is something really, really, really important. And we have to be very open all the time that it will be edited all the time. It's changed a little bit. You run a business. If we are the bosses, we need to stay the leaders, because sometimes we get into mommy mode, sister mode.
Yeah.
And we tend to kind of catch the energy of those people, and we try to save them. We have to protect them. We want to make sure that they do good stuff. And it's a thing. We have to really give them the freedom to act and the responsibility to take, and we need to keep them responsible for what they do. And then really talk about that and really think how to overcome what happened, how to get good results about all the mistakes that we did, and think about, are we going to work together in the future, or is this the last time? Because I've had already some experience in the moment when I wanted to help my employee too much. We can't do that. That's the point. I really very quickly I got that experience, and I'm very grateful for that. In case of us women, is more important to remember. We cannot be mummies. We cannot be sisters.
No,
we have to be.
Yeah, leadership is a power dynamic.
Exactly.
So we can't be like a mommy or hold their hands too much, but we also cannot tune out and expect them to perform. I do see this two extremes, and it depends on the client. The challenge of onboarding, training, and managing people, right? It's either people default to doing too much and holding hands too much. Sometimes this becomes like micromanagement. Or there's another side, the opposite side of spectrum of a leader who's not effective, who will teach them something, assume they understood exactly the way it's playing out in the leader's head, and then completely tune out. Not supervising enough, not touching base enough, not motivating them enough. From the spectrum is a balance, and that's where the power dynamic can motivate and nurture the staff to do better than you can, because they have all day and every day to do it, all the work hours, whereas you have a ton of tasks that nobody else can do, right? So delegation is huge.
I like to think that my business is like an erotic partner that I picked for myself, that I chose for myself, and I choose every day. And I would not like my erotic partner to be a child for me.
Yes.
It has to be powerful. That partner needs to be powerful in his power, in his really owning his stuff. I need to feel safe, and he needs to feel safe, and we need to be on the same level there. And I need to hold that, really hold it, because whenever I get into that, I need to run into that. I'm like, stop it, don't do that. Don't do that. You wouldn't do that in bed.
What you're mentioning is communication, because the opposite side of the spectrum, if your business was an erotic partner, you do not want that person to tune out either, or you don't want to tune out from them, right? Expect them to read your mind because you said something once and you assume they understood you.
Exactly. And this is how I like to look at every area of my life. But I really take all of my deepest wisdom from my erotic experiences. That's why I do what I do.
Exactly.
I just take that and put that into my finances, my spirituality, my quality of life, relations. It's like everywhere, and I love that energy flow. It feeds me back, and it's wonderful.
Maybe for the audience who are not quite understanding how the eroticism and being in your sexual power, embodying femininity relate to the success that we're talking about, it has everything to do with it. Societally, we don't understand how having these hangups, shame, embarrassment, not feeling good enough in your body, in your sexuality, hiding yourself, that has everything to do with how you present yourself, how you show up in life, the quality of intimacy you can have in your with your intimate partner, but also with other people as well. Because if you don't feel good enough and you hide yourself and you feel shame,
really exactly what it is,
you can't perform. And because sexual energy is creative energy, if you have repressed or suppressed sexual energy because of past experiences that were traumatic. Every woman has had some kind of sexual experience that was very damaging to her, right? That was uncalled for. It was not what she wanted, right? Non-consensual. So when we have these experiences, it certainly affects our thinking, our focus, our clarity, creativity. So that's why it's fully related to success, fully related to entrepreneurship.
Yes, sexual energy is life force energy. I mean, we all come from that.
Yes, we come from absolutely.
That. If we come from such a beautiful, powerful, innocent kind of energy, it's like we can just take that potential and let all of the things that we want to manifest, like business, like finances, like abundance, like beautiful, healthy body or whatever else, we can take that energy, channel it, and really use it to create that potential that we want. It will manifest if we really trust it. But as I said, like every woman has a sexual trauma, even if
also religious, cultural.
Exactly. Yeah. Even if a woman wasn't actually harassed or something, there is something in culture that really oppresses women. And we may not feel it because it's so deeply rooted that we don't know it.
Yeah.
And my clients are so surprised each time when we kind of layer after layer, we really dig into all of that shame, guilt, all of that fear, because every woman is really fear driven deep inside, whether we know it or not.
Yes.
And after we reveal that stuff, it's like, oh my God, what was it? How was it that I didn't know that?
Yeah.
And when you own that, when you see exactly what was driving you, you can let it go and you can consciously step into what you really want to manifest and channel that energy, sexual energy, into the feminine.
Yeah.
And then create something really beautiful.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. So tell us about how your business success has changed your life, how your leadership
tremendously,
right? Yeah, tell us.
It was awesome because before I started this business, I worked in a corporate. I liked that work, but the hours, long hours, it was too much. It was too much. I was exhausted. I was really exhausted. I got a lot of experience there. I'm really grateful for what I had, but I had to leave. I really had to leave. And right now, I clearly see that I make almost 15 times more each month than I did for a whole month back there, which is crazy. And it was all about me allowing for that. And the time that I'm working, I choose it. Like this day, I'm not working this day. No way. I'm taking a day off. Or I don't work in some hours during the day because I know I like to nap, which is awesome. When you're a business owner, you can nap. You can nap whenever you want to, which is great. And I'm a kind of person who loves taking long strolls in the nature. And I live in this area of Poland where I can really just half-kilometer around my house. I'm already in the woods. So it's really important for me to have contact with nature every day. And really working full-time in corporate, I couldn't afford that.
No.
Sometimes in the weekend.
Have the balance.
Lifestyle. This is why I did it, for new lifestyle, healthy lifestyle.
This is also your purpose. You love this work. It's fulfilling.
And it's my life's vision. It's my life's vision, actually. I want this world to be safe for a woman so that she can get into let's say, get to an elevator with 4 guys and she feels safe. She feels totally neutral. That's what I want for this world. And I know that people like me do this work to make it happen. I know it's not going to happen during my lifetime, but I know it's needed.
Yes.
I know it's very, each time I get up, this is what I think about. I want that world. I want for my friends who have kids, I want these little girls, when they're adults, they want to feel safe with their bodies. It's absolutely, it drives me like every day.
It's a woman's right to feel safe in her sexuality.
Exactly. And it's great when she can just take a compliment from a guy. It's like, you're a beautiful woman, and she's not offended. Very often women hear from a guy like, you've got beautiful eyes, and she's like, what are you talking about? It's like it's like, are you harassing me?
Right.
And I think that there's a lot to process, a lot of stuff that we need to work on as a society. I totally want to get rid of all of that crazy stuff that we as people believe in. Really, really question that, because changes need to happen.
Yeah.
need to have.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
What would be the one piece of advice you give somebody who's starting out where you were a couple of years ago?
It's a great question. I love it. I remember one time I contemplated the question, and I would say, imagine yourself being 90 years old. What do you regret? Things that you did or things you didn't do?
Yeah. Things that you thought about and then you left it.
Yeah. And imagine yourself being few months old. And you cannot walk, you cannot talk, you cannot read, you can't even hold things, right? And that few months old baby looks at you right now, and she or he sees what you can do, that you can earn your money, you have a roof over your head, you take care of yourself, you have food, you have some friends, you have most powerful tool to communicate every time, all the time, with everyone, and you say you can't. You say you can't. It's like it's like your past version and your future version, they all say the same. It's like, don't waste your time because you will not have more.
Face your fears.
Exactly.
Take a risk on yourself. Bet on yourself.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here, Sabina. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, your amazing story, your successes, and wonderful advice. We know in our hearts that you are going to take over Poland. You're going to take over the world with your message, with your offer, and helping women transform their lives in the most incredible, positive way.
Thank you so much, Julia. I always say you are the godmother of my success, and everyone who is really interested in making good business and really doing good stuff, contact with Julia, because this is a very good decision. Just like that.